So we're going to talk right now about the next module, and we're going to talk about this. It's called the top 10 module. Now the things to remember about this, right, and I'm going to remind you every time, is that these are tools, right? You've got the video, you've got the PowerPoint animation that'll go slide by slide, line by line, how to do this, and you've got the outlines. All of these are resources. This isn't about just learning scripts. This is about you learning, you and me being able to understand the reasons behind it, the language behind. That's so important, because if you've got that, then you get to be you. You get to communicate it the way you want to communicate it. Use the references and the stories that you've got, because you know what we're trying to get accomplished. These are tools for you to use, right? So what this is this is a brand new person, right? Our job is for them to really understand, how do we grow? What are we doing with this, right? Our number one mission, right, as a company, is we've got this access gap, right? We recognize that the wealthy have resources and the not so wealthy have resources, but this middle group, this Main Street families, there's an unbelievable access gap that if someone could stand up and say, man, we are going to work with a purpose to close this gap, it's possible. But in order to do that, we've got to provide access to the education and access to the tools necessary to be able to think and do like the wealthy do. Right? So that's our mission. That's what we're doing. So we took a step back and said, okay, well, what are the resources? What do we've got, and how are we going to do it? Remember, we've got Primerica. They're an unbelievable financial services company. Our job is to leverage their products and their compensation. Right? We've got the back office, where we leverage their experience and their resources. This strategic partnership with us building our distribution company, Primerica being the experts in financial services, the back office being the expert in the resources and the experiences, right? Together, we leverage this strategic partnership together. We got a legitimate shot to fight every day to close this access gap. Together we can do this. We can all do more together than we can apart. So we understand the big picture of a strategic partnership. But the great thing about it is it's all the same stuff. Because our job, if we're going to build our distribution company, the way we do it is we're going to build our own strategic partnership. But we're going to build it with our allies and our advocates and our associates. Guys, it's important that we understand that that's our job, right? Primerica's job is to build the financial services company, and the back office to build those support systems. Our job is to build our support system, right? Our allies, our advocates, and our associates. And you're going to see this, but it really is a step-by-step game plan. See, our allies, really more than anything, is it's about the people in our lives being able to support us. And you're going to know this, you're going to understand when someone becomes an ally, there's going to be a sentence or an impression they're going to give, which is, everyone needs this and no one does it. Like, those are the magic words when we're talking about an ally, because there's someone that understands the value of what we're doing and the value of the fact that no one else is going to do it. It gives us that sense. And our number one job is to lock everyone we can in as an ally, for them to hear this story, for them to understand this access gap, to understand why we do what we do, the distribution side, all of that, because the clearer the people in our lives are, the more opportunity there is for support. And there's a great place. We're going to have people that's all they are, is they want to be the greatest supporters in the world, and we are so okay with that, it's silly. Now there's going to be some, though, that go, man, this is important, and they get involved. And it's the opportunity for them to go, man, I know someone who needs, right? Ultimately, for our company to grow, we're going to build an advocate's feeder source for the people in our lives, that to be on a lookout for amazing people, maybe great people that have maxed out their vehicle, but they haven't maxed out their potential. If those folks introduce them to us, and we're able to introduce them to the system that we've got and the ability to really do this, man, we got a shot to change their situation. And the more folks that get actively involved with helping this mission get accomplished, the more likely it gets done and the faster it gets done. And then there's going to be a handful that go, man, I'm not where I want to be. I want to do something different. Maybe I've maxed out my job. Maybe I've maxed out my vehicle, but I haven't maxed out my potential. And there's an opportunity for them to become active. Right? Everything we talk about is this stair-step approach that says, man, we're going to start with ally, we're going to build them to advocate, and we're going to recruit them to associate. And there's a step-by-step plan for a place for everybody. So now we've got this theory. Go, great, this makes sense. This is what we do. How do we do it? Well, man, we've got to have a game plan. It's one thing to have theory. It's another thing for you and I to walk out of here today, go, man, here's exactly my next step. Here's where my focus is. Here's how I'm going to be able to accomplish this. See, step one is we've got to lock in the most important allies. Because we say, man, if we understand and we support the people that we've got, and we know who those most important people are, and they're in our corners, we get that extra support. We get that when things are going good, they're our cheerleaders to say, man, there it is, the attaboys, and they'll keep going, and this is unbelievable. And guess what? When things aren't so good, it's really important to have those same people say, man, don't worry about it. Remember the vision. I remember what we're trying to get accomplished. We're supporting you. We got your back. Right? We put those people in our corner. We've got the power of everything. So we said, okay, who are they? Well, we call them our top 10, and we go through our getting started, and we ask those questions, and the first thing we can do is really identify who are the top 10 people in your life that we go, man, if we got them in your corner, you would be stronger. Once we know who those 10 are, then we've got to be able to go in and define them and say, okay, all right, we've got our macho market. Are they married? Are they between 22 and 62? Do they have young children? Do they own a house? Are they employed? Do they got a job? Right? And it allows us to go, we want to do is if we look at each of those as one point, right, we can really kind of identify who the people are in our lives and where they're going to hear the story. And the reason is we want to put everyone in the best position to hear it. See, if somebody is 0 to 3 stars, the best thing we can do is we can meet them for a cup of coffee. We can tell them the business story. We can talk about, the fact that we want to close this gap and how we leverage the strategic partnership and that there's an opportunity for people to do something different. And if there's 3 to 5 stars, then sitting down and doing the kitchen table, talking to them about a game plan to maybe put their kids to college or protect their family or lock in their advances or be able to situate for retirement. Right? The great news is whether somebody's a 22-year-old kid that just got out of school that's just starting their career or a 45-year-old married couple that has kids and wants to, right? There's a space for everyone to really hear the value of what we're doing. And what we want to do is put them in the best position to be successful, to be able to hear our story. Right? And then it becomes, okay, once we know who our top 10, once we know the types of the best position, is it going to be a coffee or a KT because we know their macho number, right? Now it's how do we have the conversation? What do we say? Well, what's the number one goal? We want to lock them in as ally. It's not about getting them to buy anything. It's not about getting them to join anything. I cannot express this any stronger than it really truly is about locking all 10 of these, all 50 of them, all 100 in as allies. And so it's the best way for them to hear us. What do we say? Look, you know your friends. You know the top 10. You know what to say. Maybe you're saying, I'm coming over. Maybe you're talking to someone, say, man, there's someone I want you to meet. You got to meet this person. Maybe it's, man, I want you to totally understand and support what I'm doing, right? Based on how your relationship is. You're friends with these people. These are the important people in your life. This isn't about being someone other than who you are. Right? We don't want to call them up and go, hi, how are you? They're going to think something strange has happened. The thing that's happened is you found an unbelievable opportunity for you to change your life and to change the lives of the people around you, and the opportunity to accomplish what it is that you want. Whether it's an extra $500 a month, whether it's to help a couple people because you didn't know any of this stuff, whether it's to build a company to get your family totally financially independent and free to travel the world, wherever it is and anywhere in between, right? This is what this is about, and it's about them understanding that. And then the bottom line is why? Because the question becomes, who's going to be the most effective? Look, you and I have people in our lives that know us from a long time ago. And they know some amazing things that we've done, and maybe they know some silly things that we've done. And if we call them up and say, man, we're going to go into business and financial services and leverage strategic partnerships, they might not hear us. But if we take someone who's trained and competent and they can go in and tell this story with us, there might be a way better chance for them to hear our impact. To start there to be a platform for them to watch you grow, to really lock in as this ally. So it's the opportunity to bridge these two things together. See, guys, when we talk about this, one of my favorite conversations is you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. This isn't about you taking on the world alone. This isn't about you figuring all of this stuff out by yourself, right? This is about your ability to be creative by being able to leverage all the systems and resources that we've got. See, we built the tools and the plan, right? The resources are there, right? From what are you coming next Saturday for? You're going to learn about the bridge and you're going to learn about the impact, right? We want to take this step by step to be able to have the support. We've got our AAAz nights during the week for them to really have a bigger picture for you to be able to plug into. We've got our Saturday practices. This is about you being able to leverage the resources that you've got, right? Realize that we can do more together than we ever can apart. And this is about you being able to accomplish the things you want to accomplish, whatever those are. See, when we sit down and go, okay, what are the goals? If we sat down 30 days, 60 days, 90 days from now, and we look back and said, okay, did we accomplish what we wanted to with our top 10? Right? What are those things? What are the biggest goals? Well, first we want to lock in allies. We want 4 to 6 Yelps. We're going to sit down with the people in your lives, and if we can help, stand in that gap, if we can make an impact for them, we're going to do it. And our goal is, once we do that for them, to be able to go on Yelp and start building your reputation and say, you know what, I sat with so-and-so and they did a great job and they helped me, right? Because we can start getting people to understand that you're building something. We can lock in our advocates, 7 to 10 strategic partners. These are the people that are going to be your building blocks for your long-term feeder system. The people in your life that understand that how you're going to grow your company. Right? Our goal is to recruit our associates, 3 to 6 associates. That gets you promoted to district leader. That's 100% raise the time you get licensed. Right? We want you to know what it feels like to build a team and to to start experiencing profit and all of that stuff through this process. Not only that, but how amazing would it be to be in business with 3, 4, 5, 6 of the most important people in your life. The ability to dream and plan and talk about what can happen and to be able to work together and change and grow with the people that we care about. That's the greatest thing about our system. And then our goal is to find assets. Right? If we find $1 million in assets that goes into the managed accounts, right? The day you get your Series 65, right? We get them to do what's called a broker-dealer change form. We transfer the name from us to you, and you actually start earning passive income. $1 million pays a district leader $362 a month. That's like $4,300 a year in passive income. And you're going to earn that and develop that market and develop those assets while you're in the training process. You're not even licensed yet, and you're going out and you're doing this because we're going to put them in the best position to be successful. Why? Because who's the most effective person? You or the person that's developing you? Probably the person that's developing you, because they're going to hear them. What do you know how to do? And you're going to be able to get in and be able to get them to hear our story, right? It's a strategic partnership between you and your developer to be able to piece those together. See, guys, what we want to do is we want to gather those top 10 up because it's going to become the building block. When you and I know how to work with our top 10, now all of a sudden over the next 3 days, 3 months, 3 weeks, 3 months, what's going to happen? Well, you're going to start learning that there's more than 10. And we can learn how to develop the next 25 to 50, and then the next 25 to 50, and 25 to 50. And over the next year, what if you learn how to develop 250 to 500 people in your market, in your distribution company, that all understand and support what you're doing? You think you'd be more successful? What if you had 3 or 4 or 5, 10 people on your team that all developed 250 to 500 people? Now all of a sudden, a year from now, 2 years from now, your business could literally have 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 advocates that all understand and support the mission you and your company are in the process of. How you're going to leverage Primerica, how you're leveraging the back office so that you and I literally get a shot to do something together. Because we get to build up we got to gather up the resources of that market, and that's what's going to give us the ability to close this gap. If we grow our distribution company, we grow our allies, we grow our advocates, we develop and recruit our associates and teach them how to build their allies and advocates. Together we can have an army. See, I got 24 hours a day, and so do you. And we might be able to help 2 or 3 families. But what if we had 50 of us? What if we had 100 of us? What if we had 1,000 of us? What if we had 10,000, 100,000, 1,000,000 of us that could gather up and leverage Primerica, that had the support system behind them so they could literally get this done? What if we gathered that up and we had these people building their markets together? See, guys, we got a legitimate shot to make a difference. We have very high standards on Primerica, and that's fantastic. And we have high standards in the back office, and that's fantastic. We get to put high standards on us and say, man, we can start part-time, and we can build our foundation. We can attack this together. We lock in our top 10 in the next 30 days. Let's lock in our top 10. Let's get them to understand and support what we're doing. From there, we can build this thing. See, One of the reminders is this presentation is a reflection of the opinion of the speaker, not that of Primerica. This is our company. This is our distribution company. These are the tools that we've got. This is designed for internal training, right? This is designed for our organization. This is our support company that says, man, we want to make sure that you understand and you've got the resources, right? This is for us to be able to grow. Let's take advantage of this stuff and absolutely get up and get after this thing. I'm proud of you guys. Let's have some fun and see you in the next module.